We're live. It's www.youtube.com/NoahMania. Welcome to the very first episode of the Noah Mania Experience. What's going on, guys? Welcome to the show. Very short notice. Nobody's watching right now. Guarantee it. Nobody is watching. But I'm live. So, about a week ago, let me kill this music. I really don't have anything better right now in terms of music. I haven't streamed live in years. You'll have to forgive me. Last week I came online for just a quick equipment test because I haven't done this. I said last week when we were on last Friday that it was my first live stream in 6 years. It actually wasn't. Dre Santi, I'm here. Let's go. Mike Fenoy, woo! Woo! Nature Boy is something else. I think I got my wits about me better than I had last week, so I'm very happy to be here. So I said last time it was my first live stream since 2018, 6 years, but it's actually 2019 I did a live stream, so it's been 5 years. 5 years, and I'm back. So I'm rusty as shit. You'll have to forgive me. So the name of the show is the Noah Mania Experience. This is going to be a weekly occurrence here on youtube.com/NoahMania. Last week was all blur, so I'm just going to pretend like last week's equipment test didn't happen. By the way, if any of you have fancy computers and fancy internet connections, this show is automatically different than the competition. I'm not going to name any names. This show's different from the competition because it is being streamed live in Ultra HD 4K. Who the fuck is streaming in 4K? A little wrestling podcast. Well, no, this is not a wrestling podcast. Let's define what this is about, okay? Shall we? Bear with me for a second. This show is going to be about... What's this? Don't switch. God damn it. This show is going to be about Yes, it's going to be about that. Let's just put it that way. It's going to be about that. There's going to be some wrestling talk. Obviously, look at my backdrop here. There's going to be some wrestling talk. But this is more of a whatever the hell I want sort of thing, sort of experience that I want to deliver. Whatever the hell I want. I took this photo, by the way. See, I feel weird about using other photos like that other people take as backdrops. So even though this is a WWE backdrop, this is from obviously WrestleMania 39. I took this photo from my seat there. It was freaking amazing. Most beautiful WWE set ever made. Hands down. Most beautiful and elegant. It did the show justice. It really did. Okay. I fully expect not a lot of people are watching just because I didn't really advertise it. I wasn't sure if I want to go on tomorrow or tonight. Plus, I'm kind of still practicing getting the hang of this shit. So it's fine. We'll get like a rhythm going, and then you'll see advertisements popping up maybe on your social media feeds, and then you'll know when to tune in. Cool? Awesome. All right, so let's get the party started. Where have I been? Okay, so you guys want the scoop on where I've been? I'll share it with you. You guys don't need to see that. Let me cover up that terrible hairline. I'm old now. I'm an old fogey. Where have I been the last 6 years? So went through some shit throughout the end of 2018 and finally decided that I had enough of working at a little company you guys might have heard of called Best Buy. I'd never talked about work in the past. and I'm not going to talk about it in the future, but I used to work for a company called Best Buy. I worked for Geek Squad. I went out to people's houses for a living and did computer type work. Well, I got sick of that shit after 15 years, so I quit for a much better job, higher pay. Imagine that. So that's what I'm doing now, and I'm way happier. Very happy. Mary and Shane are doing great. Those of you that remember Mary and Shane, the Pain 916, they are doing just fantastic. So I left my old job, got a new job, and 4 months later got into a really, really terrible car accident. Almost was killed. Mary and I were almost killed in a car accident in the first half of 2020. And so that's another reason why I wasn't around, because I couldn't talk about it, and I can't talk about the outcome, if you know what I mean. So I really wanted to just protect myself from any potential accusations of me shooting my big fat mouth off. So therefore, I didn't stream at all. But now I'm in a great place in my life to where I can do that. I bought my dream car. So that's another thing, that kind of little leg up. I got my dream car. If you guys want to know what I bought, there you go. I'm a big Mustang guy, as you're all aware. If you really know me, you know I'm a Mustang guy. So I bought my dream car, an 09 Shelby GT500. But I'm not looking to brag about that. What else have I been up to? I'm a really boring, lame person now. Let's talk about some stuff. What's going on? So, like I said, the show is going to be about whatever I want. There's going to be all sorts of content, and so this question I'm going to be asked inevitably: where in the hell are Mike and Eric? Mike Nagel and Eric Barnes. And the answer to that is, well, they are around and they're both doing great. Ebar still streams. I have cordially invited them both to... Mike, you're on my personal Facebook. You knew I had a Shelby. Were you really not paying attention? You're really not paying attention. You know that's why D-Rock bought a Mustang like 6 months later to copy me. D-Rock, you're on blast. You're a copycat. Went out and bought a Mustang just because I got one. No, but his whip is really rad, though. I really like it. So, anyway, I have cordially invited both Mike and Eric to appear on the new show, as well as potentially discuss bringing back another little show you've all probably heard of. I'll give you a hint. It rhymes with poop. I'm pretty lame, I know. But yeah, no, guys, Mike and Eric are doing great. Mike has had some health issues. I won't really get into them here that he's been working through, but pretty soon he's actually going to be moving out to Sacramento to do some stuff, to do some work with me. So there's going to be some really cool stuff coming down the pipeline. You guys just watch. You guys just watch and see. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. Remember that. And I'm coming for what's mine. I'm just joking. Just messing around. Okay. Well, for those of you that don't know me, if you're a new viewer to this YouTube channel, my name is Noah, in case you haven't figured that out. I'm a professional wrestling fan. Been a professional wrestling fan for, well over 25 years. Been to over 200 live events over the last 20 years. I enjoy that. It's a big part of my life. It doesn't define me, though. I'm also a diehard fan of the San Francisco 49ers, and believe me, we are going to get into that this hour. I have my opinions on that. Oh, believe me, I for sure have my opinions on that. What else do I like? I work. I have a job. I'm not just someone that lives in their basement. I have a family. I got a wonderful fiance, Mary, and my 14-year-old stepson, Shane. It's my boy. Good kid. So aside from that, the only other thing going on in my life, for those of you that know me but don't know, kind of a little bit of a setback, but it'll be a year ago, beginning of December, my mom passed away. So I actually wanted to return to YouTube a little bit sooner than I did. I wanted to come back a year ago, but that kind of set me back just a little bit, as you guys can imagine. So I've been working through those issues, and now I'm finally at a place where I'm comfortable doing this. So, by the way, live chat, how do I sound? A little audio check, because I'm not monitoring the audio on the broadcast. So let me know in the live chat. What is going on in the live chat anyway? Let's see what's going on there. Mike Vanoy says that he acknowledges me. I'm the YouTube chief. I wish I was. Believe me. But unlike last time, so last time I did this, I was really trying to accomplish something big, and I guess maybe my expectations were too high. So I needed this break to kind of mature a little bit. I'm much older. Not really wiser, but I think I'm older. And I'm going to do this for fun. This is going to be fun to me. And if along the way I happen to kick some asses, then so be it. But till then, this is just for fun. Sean Spencer, how's it going? How's it going, man? How's it going? Wonder how the rest of the fans are doing from the old days. Thank you. I took that photo myself from my seat at WrestleMania. It's pretty cool. It's pretty freaking cool. I won't lie. So, I'm a big 49er fan. What else can I tell you guys about me? I work full time. I work a lot. I'm in the middle of doing a remodel / new construction of my current house, possibly building a second house on my property. So that's all in process. Well, at least in kind of the planning phase, almost in process. So that's going to be fun. What else do I like? Big computer guy, big Apple guy. I've been in the IT field for over 20 years now professionally. So that's my bread and butter. Love movies, love music. So I'm going to be talking about a little bit of everything on this show. It's not going to be confined to just professional wrestling. So you'll have to be patient with me when I go on to my tirades, because there will be some tirades. Trust me. So it's been going on this week. Who is the biggest wrestling YouTuber these days? I know Cornette. I've been an avid listener of the Jim Cornette podcasts for years. I'm a huge Cornette fan. Huge Cornette fan. And unlike most people, I know the difference. I know he doesn't hate modern wrestling. He hates the bullshit that you see in modern wrestling. The cartoon Young Bucks, wrestling the Invisible Man, that BS. That's what's hated by Jim Cornette. But my point was, he for a while was the most popular YouTuber in the wrestling space. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but I believe that title has now been taken by The Undertaker, Mark Calloway. He has his podcast, the 6 Feet Under. And I've seen clips of it here and there, and I enjoy his wrestling stories. let's just talk about the 500-pound elephant in the room. He's also a 500-pound former president, Trump, who was on the Mark Calloway's 6 Feet Under podcast. And I'll preface my remarks. Okay, guys? Look, I'm not a supporter of Donald Trump. I hate to break it to you if you are. I don't hate you if you are. Just don't rub your beliefs in my face. And it's nothing to do with the fact I'm just a Democrat and hate Republicans. It's not that. I can find common ground with conservatives. I can find common ground when it comes to fiscal matters with conservatives. I think there's a lot of wasteful spending in the federal government that needs to be reined in. And I think there's instances where this country gives away too much money to foreign countries that could be better spent here at home domestically. And I think that's something that most of us can cross the aisle and agree on. I believe in that. But I could never vote for that side of the aisle because I can't get past the social issues. I can't get past it. I can't get past the idea, if the scoop comes back, will you put the fedora back on? That was Dre Santi. The answer is, of course I will bring the freaking fedora back. I can't not have the fedora. Great question. Round of applause for Dre Santi. Thank you. Anyway, I can't bring myself to vote Democrat because of the social issues and the hypocrisies on that side of the aisle. Number one, the statement that government needs to be small. We want smaller government. We don't want the government up in your business. So don't go helping everyone out, telling everyone that they have to have benefits or have to have food stamps to buy groceries. Less government, small government. Freedoms and liberties. Freedoms and liberties. Oh, wait, you mean women's right to choose? That's not a freedom or liberty. All of a sudden, government gets big again. They want real small government, but when the religious right comes a knocking and says that abortion offends our God, then all of a sudden government gets massive again. It's none of your business. Freedoms and liberties. Second Amendment. It's my constitutional right to bear arms. Small government, no gun control. But big government, when we start worrying about 2 men or 2 women getting married. It's hypocrites. It's hypocrisy. I can't get past the social issues. Hate to break it to you. And I've known, back to the wrestling piece, I've known, just like all of you, Glenn Jacobs, Kane, he's the mayor of Knox County, Tennessee. And same thing, I've known Mark Calloway is conservative. He lives in Texas, and I think he owns commercial office buildings out there. Of course he's a conservative. So I had to, in my mind, separate Undertaker and Kane from Glenn Jacobs and Mark Calloway because I don't want to hate them. I love the characters. And then I see this podcast, Mark Calloway. Hang on, what's going on here? I cut out there. Am I coming through smooth, guys? Let me know in the live chat because I swear I think we had some loss there. It fixed? Okay. I'm looking at my analytics here, my stream health. I don't see anything. Look, if 4K, like if the stream keeps cutting out, I won't do 4K anymore, but I wanted to try it out because I certainly have internet that's fast. I'm looking. Now it says stream is healthy. All right. Well, bear with me. I think that streaming in 4K is a little bit sketchy. Then out of the blue fixes. Yeah, it's really odd. It's so weird because OBS shows that I've dropped 0 frames and my CPU usage is only at 13%. I don't know. Explain it to me. Anyway, so back on the topic of the podcast. Maybe YouTube doesn't like I'm talking mean things about Mark Calloway. Maybe it's the YouTube algorithm. So anyway, it was a really odd thing because they didn't ask any questions, and they weren't going to. It wasn't going to be a political interview, but it's the main focal point was Trump awkwardly asking them questions. It almost felt like Trump was rehearsing to host his own podcast. It was very odd to me. And awkward. It was really awkward, like the way he was asking some of those questions. It was really soft-spoken and weird. It was weird to me. And Trump really didn't let Mark Calloway or his co-host, I don't even know what that guy's name is, they didn't really direct the conversation whatsoever. It was a really sloppy, jumbled mess. And Trump talking about wrestling and then trying to tie in the politics a little bit. It was just weird. I wasn't a fan of it. But I get it. As much as I hate to admit it, there's a very large audience base of WWE that are MAGA. So, what are you going to do? Razor531, I respect the fact that you can see it from both sides. I really try to. It's just so hard when you have the other side with the conspiracy theories and we're going to eat your cats and dogs in Springfield and taking away people's rights. You can't, they've set it up to where, of course, the narrative is that they're just returning the power to the states, but they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. And I don't like it. Project 2025, it's scary to me. It truly is. But I don't really want to make politics the focal point of this. Yeah, they're eating the dogs. They're eating the dogs and the cats. Get it right. Dogs and cats. All right. So let's chat for a moment, if you will. If you will, let's talk about a little bit of wrestling. If you will. If we will. Let's talk about Raw Monday night. Raw Monday night was quite interesting, and it was a bit of a nostalgia moment for everyone. We saw the return of none other than legendary ring announcer Lillian Garcia. Lillian Garcia's return to WWE. They claim it's full-time, and I knew it wasn't. It was a really odd announcement to make that she was returning permanently. When the second I heard that she was coming back replacing Samantha Irvin, which all seemed okay. Well, let's back up a little bit. Let's back up and start from the beginning here. So Samantha Irvin announced she was leaving WWE, and at first it was announced through, I saw it on what's usually a pretty legit website. I think it was pwinsider.com. Dave Scherer's website, Scherer, however it's pronounced. And it was announced that Samantha Irvin gave her notice at the very last possible minute, like the day of Raw. And it was odd to me. I didn't know if that was true because they were in Philly. I wasn't sure, like, where does Lillian live? Did they send the jet to her and say, hey, we need you in Philly in 4 hours? And they sent the jet to pick her up? Or was this planned out? Now, Samantha Irvin has since come out and said that this has been planned out for a few months, that there was, and more stuff came out behind the scenes that she had been trying to negotiate more of a reduced schedule with WWE and they couldn't come to an agreement. She wants to do her music thing, and I guess there's opportunities in Hollywood. And I guess WWE was less than willing to work with her. So she was like, you know what? My man's gone to AEW. I'm going to piece the F out. And which is wild to me since they did the whole thing a few months ago where Lillian made an appearance and like passed the torch. Maybe that was WWE's way of like trying to pressure her into staying. Like, if we go through that, she'll never quit. She'll never leave now. We've passed the torch. But no, she left. I'm disappointed, though. I thought Samantha Irvin was really good. Is she better than Lillian Garcia? I wouldn't say that. I think they're very different ring announcers. I think really the only thing the two of them have in common is they're both women. Other than that, nothing whatsoever in common. But she brought her own unique style to the table, and she was very emotional. And I think that's what really made her unique. So it's certainly not a fair comparison to compare her to Lillian Garcia or any other ring announcer. I think what everyone really liked about her was she was so unique. And so she quit. I think really the reality of what happened was she was so good at what she did that fans would perceive anyone else stepping into that role, even temporarily, as a significant downgrade. So they wanted to put someone into that role who was loved and adored by fans, even though it's what people made fun of Lillian Garcia incessantly in the early 2000s for the botches. But no, Samantha Irvin was a true. You could tell she's a fan. She's a fan at heart, and the way she conveyed emotion and her true emotion, and you could see like fan cam footage of her legitimately getting excited watching the matches and having like expressions of shock, even if and to be fair, a lot of the crew at ringside, they don't know what's going to happen. They don't know the finish of the matches, and for all we know, they don't tell Samantha Irvin shit other than when watch the match and whoever wins when you ring the bell, call it. That could be how it works. I don't know. And no, to a lesser degree, it doesn't work that way because I'll tell you guys a story. My favorite Lillian Garcia story that I was literally 3 feet away from this when it happened. Very funny story. And I'll just tell it now. So I went to SummerSlam in 2009 and I had second row ringside seats to SummerSlam. And this was back in the day when you could get a front row ringside seat to a pay-per-view for only $300. It's not happening these days. So I sat second row ringside, and unbeknownst to me, I got sat in the celebrity section. I got put in the celeb section, and I sat with Arsenio Hall. He sat in my section, big wrestling fan. And I do have pictures. I don't have pictures with Arsenio. He was there with his kids. His kids were small at the time, and I didn't want to bother him. So I snapped he turned around and kind of gave me a peace sign and posed for a picture, which was pretty cool. I also sitting in front of me was Tito Ortiz, and he was there with Jenna Jameson. It was when him and Jenna were dating before the domestic violence alleged bullshit was out, and I actually got to pose for a photo with Tito, which was really cool. It's on social media. And who else was in the? Oh yeah, Freddie Prinze Jr. was sitting, like literally the seat right in front of me was Freddie Prinze Jr. And if you go back and watch SummerSlam '09 on the cock, and you fast forward to the part of the show when Nancy O'Dell is interviewing Freddie Prinze Jr. at ringside. You can see me standing there right next to him, plain as day. So if you want to go on the cock, hey guys, get on the cock. Look up SummerSlam 2009 on the cock. This show's never gonna get monetized. Anyhow, so what happened was, what was this at SummerSlam '09? I believe it was. There was a match. I forget what match it was. What match? Guys, tell me in the live chat. What match at SummerSlam '09 was there a really awkward finish, and then Lillian gets on the mic and announces that Mr. McMahon ordered the match restarted? Let me know in the live chat, guys, what match that was at SummerSlam '09. Sean Spencer, she butchered a lot. Yeah, if you're talking about on Monday, she certainly did. It was her first time ring-announcing in, 8 years? But if this wasn't a last-minute decision, she should have probably spent some time in the studio just doing voiceovers for practice, voiceover-type ring-announcing. But anyway, the story, and I'm still waiting on the live chat if you guys can look up and let me know what match that was. But there was an awkward finish, and the timekeeper rang the bell, and I think the timekeeper messed up and rang the bell when he wasn't supposed to. And Lillian, of course, sat right next to the timekeeper at ringside. And I'm sitting, like, where I'm sitting in the celeb section was it was behind the announce table, but off to the corner. And if you go back and watch on Peacock and you see where I am, The Rock? The Rock wasn't at SummerSlam in '09. I don't know what you're talking about. But anyway, so I'm sitting like really, really close to where they are. And was it SummerSlam '09 that this happened? Because I also sat ringside for SummerSlam 2010. So now I got myself... No, it had to be '09. It had to be '09. Had to be. So I'm sitting behind the two of them, and the bell rings awkwardly, and I see commotion where Lillian and the timekeeper are sitting, and she's like all flustered, and she grabs the microphone, and like you could tell she did this on the fly, and hopefully, because this was back in the Vince days, hopefully Vince gave her a pat on the back for how she handled this, because she didn't get any instructions from the back. I was sitting like 3 feet away from her when this happened. She calls an audible and says, "Mr. McMahon's ordered the match be restarted." And then she gets back to ringside, and the camera's on the ring, so the only people seeing this going on are the people in the arena. She grabs the script and starts arguing with the timekeeper, and they're like going through the papers, and Lillian was hot. She was pissed off to the nth degree, and I wish I would have had that shit recorded. That was absolutely hilarious. But that's my favorite story about Lillian Garcia was the time. It was Cena versus Orton. You are correct, sir. You are absolutely right. Mike Fenoy, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone give him a round of applause. Yeah, it was Cena versus Orton. Really awkward. Just the bell ring out of nowhere, and I've watched wrestling long enough to know when I'm being worked. And they don't typically work the live crowd like that. It would have been such an odd thing to try to work that. You can just tell when you can tell when a botch is a work because it's too smooth of a botch, if that makes any sense. But anyway, I forgot where I was going with that. Anyway, no, all things considered, that no re-announcing for 8 years, and the fact she's a lot older than I thought. I thought she was around 50, but no, she's actually pushing 60 now. So it's really wild how smooth she was relative to what you would think for someone that hasn't been around in 8 years. Some botches though. I did think it was hilarious when she announced uh freaking Liv Morgan and what's her name? The really big the larger woman that she used to be, I think she used to date Braun Strowman. But when they came out together for their, I think it was a women's tag match on Monday, Lillian announced and accompanied by Dirty Dom Mysterio, and Dominic was nowhere to be found. That cracked up. Yeah, Raquel Rodriguez. That's right. That's right. Thank you. But no, they called Dirty Dom coming out. It inadvertently spoiled the appearance when he did pop up during that match, which was great. What else went on Raw? Oh yeah, the main event. Let's talk about the main event. So Braun Breaker defeated main event Jey Uso for the IC title. He was champ for all of 28 days. I don't get it. I really don't. I think it's Braun Breaker is odd to me. And I'm not saying Jey Uso is all that in a bag of chips in terms of being a singles competitor, but Braun Breaker, that's someone I won't lie, I'm not a fan of Braun Breaker. Let me tell you guys why. And this guy's the IC champ now. Braun Breaker, so basically, Jey Uso was IC champ, and they had him drop it after 28 days to a mark, because that's what Braun Breaker is. He is a effing mark. And I can't take the guy seriously when I watch him in the ring. He's a mark. He is, if freaking Goldberg and who else am I thinking of? Goldberg and Stone Cold Steve Austin had a very untalented child, it would be Braun Breaker. And what was he thinking with the Goldberg tattoo? And I know that this has been debated and discussed online for years now, but I haven't been around. So let me go on this tirade. Braun Breaker is the ultimate mark, and he should be embarrassed and humiliated every time he walks through that curtain with a Bill Goldberg tattoo on his bicep, because that's grade A mark bullshit. Absolutely what it is. It is mark bullshit. If I was him and I was young and stupid and I got a Goldberg tattoo and then I got struck by lightning and won life's lottery by getting signed to WWE, I would have been getting that shit covered up before I even was put on TV. And I'm shocked that WWE did not make him, especially considering he's been around since before Vince left. I would have thought that Vince would have told him that that's a mark tattoo to have and to cover it up or get it removed. And since laser removal on a tattoo on your bicep that's that big would look freaking weird, you'd have to cover it. But he's such a mark that, knowing him, he would have probably covered it by putting a giant, what's that stupid tattoo that Big Show has on his arm? He'd probably mimic that. It's a really dumb tattoo, and I don't know why you would have pride walking out on TV with another wrestler's tattoo on your arm. Best case scenario, people will accuse you of being a mark. That's all I'm going to say. So I can't take the guy seriously as a champion. He's dead on arrival in my book because of that. It's a deal breaker for me. Sean Spencer, they had to take the belt off of Jay. Could you elaborate? I wasn't familiar. Was there a reason? Was it because is he hurt? Is he injured for real? Forgive me if he's injured for real. So, anyway, I just don't get it. Explain it to me. So, anyway, I was hoping that I'd have a guest hop on, but no, not tonight. So, the last thing I want to talk about, and then I'm going to cut off, go jump out a window, is San Francisco 49ers. Let's talk some non-wrestling for a second. Very disappointed. I know that you're all probably laughing at me for wearing this shirt. The game versus the Chiefs was an embarrassment. The team should be ashamed of themselves. And I did read online that after the game, Kyle Shanahan basically pulled Brock Purdy aside and had kind of a come to Jesus conversation with him. So we'll see what happens. It's just, that's what happens when you pass on first down, second down, and third down. You don't run the ball. He was picked off 3 times. The Niners deserve to lose that game. Patrick Mahomes embarrassed them. And I can't stand the Chiefs. I hate Taylor Swift. I hate Taylor Swift even more than I hate Braun Breaker's bicep tattoo. To set up the Bloodline Civil War story in SmackDown. That makes sense. I see. I'm just kind of breaking back into wrestling. So you guys will have to forgive me. So 49ers, they're facing the Cowboys on Sunday. And if they lose that game, they're pretty much cooked for the season because the Cowboys don't have it together. And I know the Niners have injury issues, still don't have Christian McCaffrey. They haven't been the same without him. Only belts in the Bloodline were the tag team main event. So I'm hopeful for Sunday, but I'm not holding my breath. And if the Niners lose, in my opinion, their season's done. If they can't beat the Cowboys with the condition the Cowboys are in, then I don't even see them getting a wild card spot. All a part of the NFL storyline. Push the Chiefs to the moon. To the moon. Not looking forward to it. Anyway, so when is the next episode? So the next episode, I'm going to schedule it. So I'm going to give you guys some advance notice. And it's going to be probably next Thursday. I'm also considering if I can get one of my co-hosts back, then we'll bring the Scoop back. One or both of them. And I'm thinking of doing that on the weekends, on like a Saturday. Yeah, Debo's out, unfortunately. So I'm wanting to bring the Scoop back on the weekends, have my own show during the week, and it'll be freaking awesome. And maybe some vlogs here and there. But I just want to start small, start with this. And I'm still getting the hang of it. It's going to get better. We're going to be adding content. I want to start doing phone calls again, but I use Google Hangouts on Air before, and that doesn't exist anymore. So I think I'd have to sign up for a Skype. I don't want to do that till people start tuning in. So that's my plan. So I streamed last week, did a little test. I'm streaming this week. This is a little pilot episode of the show. And we're going to plan out future episodes. Will be a lot. There will be some more fun stuff. Still getting the hang of OBS. Never used OBS before now. It's pretty cool. Like it a lot. Anyway, I have some new social media pages that I would love for everyone to check out. So you can look me up on Facebook. It is Noah Mania. So Noah Mania on Facebook. If you haven't liked me on Facebook, just look up Noah Mania. I don't have a custom URL yet. And I'm also on the X platform. It is x.com. It's the URL. I just signed up for it. x.com/real Noah Mania. So look up Noah Mania on Facebook, and then you can also follow me on x.com/real Noah Mania. So there will be some good stuff coming up. I appreciate you all, and I appreciate you welcoming me back with open arms. The show's going to get better, and we're going to have some fun. So I think I'm going to take off now. I'm hungry. I worked all day, haven't eaten. So I'm going to get out of here. Anyway. All right. I'll see you guys next week. Peace.